Okay, thank you guys for bearing with us. A couple of technical difficulties on my end here, so I apologize for the delay. We are reconvening an open session where we have item number E, which is approval of the agenda, which is to approve our single item here. So to start things off, is there a motion with respect to approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Now, Teresa, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, that's Molly. And then from left to right, on my screen, Teresa,
Aye.
Molly,
Aye.
Tamika,
Aye.
Danielle,
Aye.
and Andrew votes aye. Okay, approval of interim superintendent. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. This has been a matter that has really been something the board has acted on very swiftly. Larry and his retirement are going to be very much harshly felt. As a school board member, I already mentioned as president our district, we are saddened that Larry's going to be retiring, but we're also very hopeful and optimistic for him and his future. But we had to prepare for what was to come. And so the board ended up taking some swift action to try to address the need to find the right person on an interim basis. And I'll have some additional comments on the candidate that I'm going to present to you today. I'm presenting to you Dr. Elliot Moser. I'm asking that you approve his contract as interim superintendent. I would like to note that the contract indicates a start date of October 7th. We expect a 2-week transition or to be worked out to the benefit of Larry and Dr. Moser, along with Larry Smalley's continued assistance and input as we move forward to Larry's final retirement date. So under the contract, Dr. Moser will fulfill the obligations of superintendent on this interim basis through June 30th. He will provide also consultation to the board regarding the recruitment of full-time permanent superintendent. And so again, I recommend that you approve the hiring of Dr. Elliot Moser for the position of interim superintendent. And I would ask if there's a motion with respect to the recommendation.
So moved.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All right. Well, I'll kick it off. I want to introduce the public to Elliot Moser. Dr. Elliot Moser has had a long and successful career in education. He's been a teacher, an administrator, and a superintendent in multiple districts in both Wisconsin and Minnesota. And one of the largest districts that he presided over was in Duluth. It was 16,000 students. After that, he came to Nicolet, and that's where so many of us got to know Dr. Moser. He was superintendent there for 17 years. And if I recall, he was also principal for a part of that as well. After he retired from Nicolet, he moved to the Richfield K-48 district and was there as an interim, he'll tell you, for a total of 7 more years. But since leaving Richfield, he's been an administrator at Concordia University of Wisconsin, and he served particularly as the executive director of the Closing the Achievement Gap Consortium. And as we all know here within the board and in the district, because of our involvement with the CAGC, that's been spurred, really by Larry, who's gotten us to work so hard towards equity and to closing the achievement gap. It's something that's very important to the district. And I know that under Dr. Moser's tutelage, he would never take credit, but he was integral to the expansion of the program. And I know that he's worked with Larry on this and other matters in many capacities over the last several years. In fact, while he's over at Concordia, I think he's probably educated many of our teachers and administrators as well. As the board looks to how to address Larry's retirement and the hole it fills for us, we know we face challenges. And starting at the beginning of the year, it's just a very difficult task to get an interim or even a permanent administrator at this point. There's just a not much ease in finding someone at this point in the start of the year. And we also felt that it would be disruptive if we were going to look at an internal candidate. And so we knew that we needed to have some independent judgment. We knew that we wanted guidance to help the board craft its vision going forward. And we had all these pressures coming upon us, and we actually got lucky. We found Dr. Moser, and we knew he was the right person for the job when we had an opportunity to speak to him about his thoughts on the job and his thoughts on how we can move forward as a district. And I know that Dr. Moser can provide frank advice and assessment. He can help guide us not just in our current school year, but lay the groundwork for a permanent administrator. And I've said this before, and Larry and I, we talked about this. I think that Elliot has the capacity to hold a mirror up to us, to our board, and let us see what we need to see as well. He's going to be able to help us identify and develop talent within the district for future growth. And he brings with him a strong sense of commitment. He's an open communicator. He is focused on equity and in closing the achievement gap. And he has a wealth of experience to draw on. And he knows how to tackle challenges. Perhaps most importantly, he is a strong supporter of teachers. He's very pro-teacher. He stressed to us the importance of teachers several times in our discussions. He committed to listening to them and working with them and giving them an opportunity to present their opinions without reservation or reluctance so that he can understand their concerns and their perspective. Dr. Moser recognizes that everyone's role is important in the district and factors into our collective success. But teachers, particularly in this pandemic, are on the front line, and we all feel under siege, but I want teachers to know that they are valued, and I know that Dr. Moser will assure them of that. Elliot is also a proud community member. He lives right here in Glendale. He walks with us, shops with us, talks with us. His kids were educated in Glendale-River Hilton, Nicolay. He served as an alderman for the Glendale Common Council. Active. He's been active as a friend of North Shore Library. He's been on various committees and organizations in Glendale and in the county. The upshot is he's firmly vested in the success of our school district, and he's a workaholic. Everyone I've spoken to about Elliot Moser, and there have been many, have provided glowing reviews of his work ethic, his track record of success, and his commitment. And lastly, he has only one agenda: using his time in the district to move the district forward. So that's my comments. I ask that you approve his contract.
Can we also, I'd like to also offer a comment too.
Please.
Well, I think this is very interesting considering that at the start of my teaching career at Nicolay, certainly not the start of my teaching career, Elliot was the superintendent that hired me, and I am beyond excited to work with him in a different capacity, in one where I'm a board member and Elliot is the superintendent. And I have no doubt that he will still teach me a few things or two in our respective roles. One of the things I know about Elliot is that I have personal experience of Elliot taking care of the staff when the staff needs him most. I also know that Elliot is completely rooted in the community. I think it takes a lot of moxie for a superintendent to live in the community, considering you go to the supermarket on a Sunday and everyone wants to talk to you about what's happening in the district, and that opens yourself up to risk and some not so constructive criticism at times. I think that he's going to use the relationships that he has built in the community to enhance our district and not promote anyone's personal interests. And I think he's going to use it to our students' advantage, and that's what matters most. I know Elliot to be a frugal superintendent, and I know that he will work to save all the dimes and all the nickels so that that money goes to our students, and that's what's most important. I'm excited by his work with the Equity Consortium and what new ideas that he can bring to our district. And most importantly, I'm very excited about the fresh perspective and almost kind of a fresh start that Elliot's going to provide for our district. And I'm really looking forward to working with you.
Okay, is there any other discussion?
I just want to say a couple things. I have, I, I have, I know of Elliot Moser from community, from school board, from my aldermanic seat. So I didn't have a lot of background. So when we were asking the tough questions, the one thing I was really impressed with is when we were asking the tough questions inside the interview process, he 100% owned anything that he was doing. He admitted the things that he did right. He admitted the things that he did, that could have been changed. But that is integrity to me. Um, Acknowledging that maybe not quite, but you don't know for sure that something is right or wrong, but just acknowledging it and owning it and saying, this is what it is. That is what impressed me the most about him, because I did ask some hard questions. Um, I thank him for being just very blunt and honest. And I think that is the reason that I was kind of swayed, because we need somebody who is going to be no nonsense at this time, that is coming in with a clear slate, just looking at, I need to be an administrator. I need to make sure that we as a board do what we're supposed to do, him as a superintendent do what he needs to do, because what we're getting ready to do in the next 6 months is the future of this school district. It's not just 1 year, it's not just a half a year. It is the future of our school district. And Larry stayed in for, I think, 15 years. So the decision that that board made 15 years ago expanded for 15 years in the district, and that's where we want to make sure that we do everything we possibly can, that we set our new superintendent up with everything that he or she possibly needs to make this district great. So he may want to stay another, he or she, sorry, will want to stay for another 15 years. So I think this is a great path. He's knowledgeable. He'll be able to slap us all up and tell us what we're doing right or wrong, and 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 we respect that. So that is the reason why I did it. It wasn't any personal. I didn't know him personally, but just his vision of what he was saying won me over. So
Okay, thank you very much.
wait, jazz hands for claps.
There you go. Okay. Well, with that, because we did open on the same agenda item last week to public input, we will go, if no one else has anything further, to a vote. So I will give everyone just a moment here in case there was any other board comment, and then I will go from left to right, a roll call across my screen. The motion to approve the contract, all in favor: Danielle Bailey,
Aye.
Molly Krychowiak,
Aye.
Tamika Vukovic,
Aye.
Teresa Seam,
Aye.
and Andrew Franklin. I vote aye, and the motion carries. Welcome, Dr. Elliot Moser, to the Glendale-River Hills School District. Thank you very much for enduring our process. Larry, I want to extend my gratitude to you because, for those, who don't know, Larry is someone that always provides the greatest insight and the greatest advice, and his comments have been just very helpful in this process. So I want to thank you. I also want to thank, with gratitude, Concordia University, who I know is working with Dr. Moser in the event, and now that we've approved it, of his transition. So thank you for that. Elliot's going to be helping us with so many different things. I noted earlier he's going to help us with laying the groundwork to get consultation for that permanent candidate that we ultimately find, and consulting with various organizations. He's going to guide us through that, and he's been around the block a few times on that. And in the future, we will have a virtual meet and greet with Dr. Moser so that we can have a public opportunity to approach him and to ask him questions, to get to know him as he steps into his role. But I did want to defer briefly. If you are ready, Elliot, I wanted to give you this opportunity to introduce yourself to the public and take a moment to do so.
Well, thank you. And thank you for the confidence that the school board has entrusted me with. It is my honor and privilege to serve the Glendale-River Hills School District and the Glendale community and River Hills communities. This is going to be a pleasure to do this. I also want to thank Superintendent Smalley, not only for his help during this process, and he has been extremely helpful. He's taken all my phone calls, talked with me, but during the time that I was superintendent at Nicolay, and superintendent in the Richfield School District, Larry Smalley was a trusted colleague and a big help to me, and I want to thank him for being a trusted colleague and professional. And I also want to say thank you to the staff, the faculty, community members who are in on this Zoom meeting. I am looking forward to this opportunity. I am a member of the community. I've lived in Glendale for 30 years. I'm pleased with it, with the opportunity to stay here. Even upon my retirement from Nicolay, and Mrs. Krahowiak mentioned this. It is true. I will go into the soda aisle at the Pick and Save, and I'm not going to use the word accosted. That's not, but people will want to talk to me. At church, they'll want to talk to me. The post office. But I'm a member of this community, and I think I serve the community better by being an active member of the River Hills and Glendale community. My 3 children graduated from Glen Hills, my 3 boys, and all 3 of them graduated from Nicolay, and they have done well, and they were served well by the faculty in the Glendale-River Hills School District, and my wife and I appreciate that. My wife and I have lived in the same home in Glendale now for the 30 years. We just celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. I have 7 grandchildren. My oldest son's wife, my daughter-in-law, is also a graduate of Glen Hills and Nicolay. So we're very embedded in this community. I do feel that an important part of my activities will be to work with the faculty and to listen, and of course the school board and working with them and the parents and the students. I cannot provide the leadership during this interim time unless I receive advice and counsel from all facets of our community. I did serve on the Common Council in Glendale for 3 terms, enjoyed that very much. I still serve Glendale. I'm a member of the Fire Commission. I'm Glendale's representative on the North Shore Fire Commission. I sit on the Joint Review Board. In fact, we met this afternoon. Tamika, we had a meeting this afternoon dealing with Bayshore, and we approved of your actions, the City Council. So that's an amendment to the tax incremental district that deals with Bayshore, and we felt that it was a good recommendation coming from the City Council. I am a member of the 5-member Milwaukee County Civil Service Commission, and I'm giving away my age, but I'm also on the Milwaukee County Department on Aging Commission. So that tells you something right there without me getting into my age whatsoever. I will commit to the faculty, to the board, and to the community that I will get into the Glendale-River Hills School District immediately. Larry Smalley has said he is available, and I will take advantage of that. I also, President Franklin, I do want to thank you for your comments about Concordia. Concordia has been a great place to work. I've worked there now. I'm in the 7th year as the Director of Educational Administration, the Executive Director of the Closing of the Achievement Gap, and the Assistant Director of Professional Development for the School of Education. They understand my desire to provide service for River Hills and Glendale. It is not an easy decision to separate myself from Concordia. It is an easy decision to serve the Glendale School District and the Glendale community. And it is to my benefit that Concordia believes in service, and I do appreciate that. So my ties with Nicolay are obvious, 17 years. Molly, I believe I am the longest serving superintendent in the history of Nicolay. I'm proud of it.
You are.
And and that's part of the reason why I stayed in the community. This is a good place to live. It was a good place to raise my children. They are doing well, and my 7 grandchildren, none of them live in Glendale. I'm sorry, I can't do that, but they live anywhere from Seattle to Grafton to Detroit, Michigan is where everyone lives. So I'm anxious to get started. The school board, thank you for the confidence you've shown in me. I will make sure that it is earned from my part. I will serve you well. I will serve the faculty. I do like the comments, and thank you for the comments that you made. I am an advocate for the people that actually do the work, and that's the staff and the faculty. And I recognize that when I was at Nicolay, they're the people that made it go. But I also know, because I am a parent here in the community, that I'm serving. The schools belong to the community, and we want the residents of River Hills and Glendale to send their children to the Glendale-River Hills schools. And we know that in today's marketplace, people can send their children anywhere. But I'm going to follow through with our staff. We're very proud of our schools, and we want to make sure that the message gets out that there is no better place to educate your children than our schools here in our community. So, President Franklin, thank you very much. I do plan that we're going to move forward, and I'm not just going to mark time. I didn't get the message when I met with the board. I didn't feel the board was interested in just marking time. They look for progress, and that's what I need to do in the interim's role. So thank you, board members. It is appreciated, and I'm looking forward to October 7th.
Terrific, as we are as well. Thank you very much. Here. Okay.
President Franklin, if I may interrupt you, it's up to you and the school board. I'm open for questions or comments. If I don't want to be intrude into the board meeting, but if any of the listeners, participants want to ask me questions, I'm open to that. But that's your call. You're the board, and you are running the meeting.
Well, it creates a tricky issue because we don't have visitor participation on the agenda. So it might be a problem to allow you to do that.
Yeah, Andy, this is Larry. I'm sorry to interrupt. I would say that should come on October 7th, Dr. Moser. I appreciate it, but I think to do it legally, it should be October 7th.
Okay, I understand. If anyone has any comments or any questions of me in the interim, Larry has my email address. Don't hesitate to contact me. So.
Well, I got your cell phone number too. Trust me, I'm handing that out to everybody.
Well, I didn't say the cell phone, did I? I didn't say that. I limited the communication technique.
But this is one of the reasons why I'm actually very pleased with this particular decision, because right off the gate, he's trying to say, hey, what do you want to say to me? Now, we can't do it right now, obviously, but I think that is going to be his attitude throughout this interim section.
I agree, but we will have that welcome session, that meet and greet, and we'll figure out how, the timing on that as well. And so I know that everyone's gonna have a lot of questions, and I know that you're up to the task, and we're starting a new conversation. So I think at this point, it would be appropriate to entertain a motion to adjourn and move on to the next vote and the next meeting, and put this one to a close. Is there a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved.
All right. I guess then no discussion. I'll go left to right. All in favor? Danielle Bailey,
Aye.
Molly Krychowiak,
Aye.
Tamika Vukovic,
Aye.
Teresa Seam.
Aye.
I vote aye. Again, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Moser. Well, congratulations, and we look forward to the next step. Now, remember, we also have a regular board meeting tomorrow night at 6:30, so we look forward to seeing everyone here tomorrow night as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Dr. Moser. Looking
Thank
forward.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Stay safe, everyone.
Good night.